Good morning, and thank you, Maggie, for the introduction. I am sorry I couldn't be with you live today, but I'm pleased to have the chance to thank you for your work in building high-speed internet access across Maine. You know as well as I do that high-speed internet is as fundamental as electricity, heat, and water in today's society. It's the primary way of connecting with other people for any number of reasons. It's the modern equivalent of rural electrification of the 1930s or the interstate highway system under Eisenhower in the 1950s. The internet is our highway to the future. Yet thousands of people and businesses in Maine just cannot access or afford high-speed internet. Having no internet or very slow internet has been an even greater problem during the pandemic, as the pandemic has forced us to work, to conduct business, to visit our doctor, to go to school, all online. I heard from a Blue Hill doctor who was struggling to read his patients' charts on the internet during remote telehealth sessions. A high school student in Hope, Maine, who missed 16 days of classroom schooling because of dropped connections. We can't tolerate that any longer. Connect Me, our state high-speed internet authority, has established the minimum standard for service in Maine at 50 megabits per second down and 10 up. Well, at least 78,000 locations in Maine don't even meet that minimum standard. We know we can do better. This is unacceptable. We need to have high-speed internet throughout our state, and with willpower, we will get there. Last year, my administration asked the voters of Maine to approve a $15 million bond to expand broadband. It was the first new investment in internet services in more than a decade. And Maine voters approved overwhelmingly. 75% of the voters wanted this. So that vote was an important first step towards providing broadband to underserved parts of Maine. And I'm proud of the progress we've made, thanks to the work of the legislature and the support of Maine people, to move this forward. Funding through that bond has been approved so far for 20 projects in 11 counties across Maine, serving 8,571 locations. It's a pretty good start. Connect Me will accept applications for the remainder of that funding very soon. Last year, my administration also used federal funds to secure mobile hotspots and learning devices for nearly 24,000 students across the state. And last year, we also dedicated $6.1 million in coronavirus relief funds in partnership with private internet providers to provide permanent internet infrastructure to more than 730 students across Maine, mostly in rural areas. Earlier this year, my administration worked with the legislature to create the Maine Connectivity Authority, a new entity, one of a kind, charged with achieving universal availability of high-speed internet in Maine. Using $21 million in federal funds allocated by my Maine Jobs and Recovery Plan, as well as $129 million in dedicated federal funds from the American Rescue Plan, Critical Infrastructure Fund, that authority will work to ensure three goals. One, that effective, accessible connectivity be universally available in the state. Two, that there be secure, affordable, reliable, competitive, and sustainable, forward-looking infrastructure that can meet future needs. And three, that all residents, businesses, and institutions in Maine be able to take full advantage of the economic, health, educational, and other opportunities available through connectivity services. We're gonna get it done. Simply having fiber run by your house isn't enough. You've got to be able to afford to connect to the internet, and you've got to know how to use it. We're going to use these federal funds to leverage private investment, not just for state projects, but for community and regionally led broadband efforts, which are critical. The authority will be the chief convener and coordinator of the public and private sector to build and maintain better access to affordable broadband across Maine. The recent state application to the National Telecommunications and Information Administration for a broadband infrastructure grant is a great example of how private and public partnerships will be central to making sure this new funding through the American Rescue Plan brings affordable, high-quality service to more Maine people. Connect Maine has brought together providers, communities, mapping, and data resources, and under the umbrella of Connect Maine, we submitted a grant that will cover 24 towns and 15,000 locations. We won't know if that grant has been successful for a few more weeks, but the effort alone demonstrates the role Connect Maine and now the Maine Connectivity Authority can and will play in helping providers and communities apply for all available federal funding. In July, I was proud to swear in the 7 new board members of the Maine Connectivity Authority after they were confirmed by the legislature. And last month, I was honored to announce that I will be nominating Andrew Butcher as president of the new authority. I know you know him. Right now, as the authority begins its work, we're spearheading a broadband mapping initiative that is fundamental to identify exactly which areas of our state lack access to internet so we can make smart infrastructure decisions and investments using these federal funds to get all communities online. It's not always an easy thing to pinpoint what neighborhoods, what houses and businesses, and what communities truly lack affordable internet access. Expanding access to affordable broadband is central to strengthening our economy and to providing educational, telehealth, business, and workforce opportunities to people in every corner of our state. Today, we take another step forward in expanding broadband for every child who could not learn remotely during the pandemic because they couldn't Zoom into the classroom. For every entrepreneur who couldn't open the door of their new business because they couldn't get online. For the father or mother who wanted their child to Zoom with their grandparents but couldn't. For every person who's considering moving to Maine but wondering if they'll be able to work remotely, here's what we know. If we build it, they will come. And so we're going to build it. With more than $150 million in federal funding through the American Rescue Plan and the Maine Jobs and Recovery Plan, to say nothing of the at least another $100 million in funding coming to Maine to expand broadband under the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act signed by President Biden this past Monday. We have the resources we need to expand broadband to every corner of Maine. Now, let's get it done. Thank you.